everyone. Welcome back to the NetApp on NetApp YouTube channel. I'm your host, Darcy Pittman, for this Roving Reporter series, and we're back with another episode today where I am welcoming Amit Patel to talk a little bit about what he does in the enterprise architecture space with applications and all sorts of things that they're working on. So I'm really excited to learn a little bit more about his work and what he's doing at NetApp. So check out our other Roving Reporter episodes if you're new here. Otherwise, let's get into the video. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Darcy, for the invite. I'm excited to be part of this program that you and Matt Brown run. So my name is Amit Patel. I'm the Senior Manager of Enterprise Architecture and Data Science. I'm reporting into the IT group, and I'm having a lot of fun really embracing the Enterprise Architecture group, which is established, and the Data Science group, which is kind of growing and morphing and changing quite quickly. We've got a small group, senior architects and a data scientist, and we are chartered with some big and bold ideas and thoughts.
Great. Yeah. I mean, it sounds really exciting to be working on something like that. So you want to tell me a little bit more, like what are those big ideas? I know there's a lot happening at NetApp right now, so I'm curious kind of what those things that you're working on are.
Yeah, the key ones are, like George was saying at all hands, the big three, ERP, CPQ, and CRM. And then from an IT perspective, we've got two more really, which are EAM, the revamp of our analytics platform, and Firefly, which is an aggressive move from our on-prem ecosystem to the cloud. And all five impact our team. All five are and my team's involved with all five of these key programs, and it's kind of exciting connecting the dots across them and connecting the dots to the strategic mission for our group and the company. So we'll get into a little bit later, but it's just a busy time for the team, and I see myself as the person who can connect the dots across these projects and programs that the enterprise architects are driving, and really make sure that we're having an effective use of what is really like an amazing group of brainpower, or an amazing capacity of brainpower within the enterprise architecture team.
So for a layperson like myself who isn't an expert in IT, can you just kind of summarize what those different acronyms mean and do? Yeah, I have a hard time keeping them straight.
Yeah, so CRM is probably the most common one or famous one. It's our customer relationship management system. So in a lot of ways, it's the touch point for sales, and how we sell is the big one, and then customer support as well. And then CPQ is configure, pricing, and quoting. So how do we get into the nuts of pricing and quoting for our customers and partners? And then ERP is a lot about finance and back office operations, right? How we manage our finances and how we close the books. Does that help, Darcy?
Yes, definitely. It's important to know what these things do, not just, eyes glaze over at all the different acronyms in IT. So thank you for that. It's very helpful. Sounds
good.
Can you talk me through a little bit more what some of the specific goals are, especially as it pertains to, the architecture work?
A lot of the moves are from legacy platforms, especially on the ERP side, a very old platform to a new cloud platform, cloud ERP. Similarly, on the CRM side, we're moving from the SAP cloud platform to our SFDC platform. The key from an architecture perspective is simplification. So we have grown over the years to have more than like 600 applications, on-prem and cloud applications. And as the company's grown and we've had different focus for the company, it's important that we look at the application footprint and really assess whether they're needed, whether they're supporting the business in the right way, and ultimately working with the business to simplify the business. We have to simplify our business. We have to simplify our technology. And why do we need to do that? We just need to be an easier company to do business with, to engage with from a customer perspective and a partner perspective, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 600 applications, that's a lot. So it makes a lot of sense to kind of want to streamline that. And so how are you actually going about that? It certainly sounds like a lot of pieces to the puzzle.
There are. So each individual project and program goes through an assessment and a target state architecture. So the enterprise architects on my team are heavily involved at the front end. And so they will look at each ecosystem and think through, do we really need X number of applications to do a certain number of business processes and business functions? Over the years, we've been in situations where we've done things quickly, we've developed applications quickly, we may have bought applications quickly. And it's really a case of, do we really need them? Are we really special where we have to have a lot of custom code, a lot of custom applications? Why can we not consolidate into our enterprise platforms? By doing that, we get the benefit in almost every way. It's a hard journey to do it, but when we are able to navigate and decommission some of the custom applications and consolidate applications, we are able to actually support the business in a better way because we have a more standard offering, right? So if you take a quoting process or a pricing process, instead of having a custom way of doing it, we've sometimes got to think to ourselves, we're not that special in terms of that business process. We shouldn't treat ourselves that way and develop custom applications and code. And so if we are able to drive more towards out-of-the-box functionality from our major target state enterprise applications, there's two benefits, right? From an IT perspective, we are able to manage the platform better. We have less moving parts to manage, and we see cost efficiency. From a business perspective, I actually think it's a driver to simplify the business because there's just fewer ways to do things and operate. And it's kind of force-fitting the business in some ways to operate the way the software should work out of the box. And it's not easy and it can be a painful experience, but every single major program at NetApp is going through that journey. And from an enterprise architecture perspective, we are trying to drive the groups and the business and our senior leaders to continuously think that way. Why do we need so many extensions? Why do we need so many customizations, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, I love what you said about, we are not special, as much as that sounds like, oh, why we all want to be special, right? But yeah. I mean, part of why our program NetApp on NetApp exists is that, we have our own IT shop, just like any other company, and we're a great example of what other companies can do for their IT shop, because we're not that special, right? Every other company needs to do a lot of the same things that we do, some at different scales, but it's a great example of kind of what opportunities there are to streamline these kinds of things, right? So what would you say, like, I think you mentioned, like, this is going to help customers, partners, how overall would you say this is enabling the business for success moving forward?
It's a great question. Really great question. The way I think about it, and we've been on this journey for, I think, at least a couple of years. We are not the easiest company to engage with or deal with, right? Because of our complexity over the years. So our competition, both in the storage world or in the technology world, some of the newer companies have grown up in the cloud and they've thought customer first, and it's just an easier way for them to engage with the company. And so if we are able to get through the journey that we are on with the big four, big five, and we're able to do it the right way, we will be in a place where customers will be happier. When customers are happier, they become more aligned or more sticky with our products. Their experience dealing with our buying process, our support process becomes simpler, and they have less incentive to leave us, right? So
Yeah, they're more loyal. We want
the
loyalty, right? And if they're happy, we're happy.
Yeah. So I think in a lot of ways, we've got to keep that in mind. It can get lost in the mix. Why are we doing this? But that is the real reason. It is to simplify not really the employee experience, but the customer experience. And it's putting the customer first. Within 20 minutes, a customer should be able to order what they need and get the help they need to order and support or order and track a product without too much pain. And it's a journey. The reason why it's a journey is because we have collected a lot of technical debt, right? And it's just the fact that we're a 20 plus, 25-year-old plus company, 30-year-old company.
Yeah, 30 years at this point, right?
30 years at this point, where we have collected a lot of technical debt. So we have actively got to clean our house, right? We've got to clean our backyard, prune the bushes, and make sure that we are presentable to our customers. And
right. Yeah, that's a good analogy.
Yeah, that's the journey we're on.
Well, and I mean, I would think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that putting the time in now will help us down the line as we like standardize. Is that part of it?
Correct. Exactly. So as we're able to standardize, we can implement the processes where continuous improvement, where we don't get back into a situation where we have a lot of technical debt. So that's where the governance comes into play. That's where things like architecture review boards come into play. So it's like, from my group's perspective, defining the target state architecture, and then the governance around the architecture. So we have enterprise architecture review boards where we bring in new projects to make sure they're aligned with the target state architecture, amongst other kind of governance processes, and really ensure that we are trying to move the needle forward with our simplification and consolidation goals, right? What is the goal? We want to end up with less applications. We want to end up with things consolidated into a few platforms, and we want to end up in a situation where the business is simplified and so that we can build upon it. And
right. I think that's the best for everyone, right? Customers, people, NetApp employees, and partners. It just makes the process easier for everyone.
Yeah, and another point, Darcy, is when we buy companies, it makes the integration efforts a lot easier for the acquired company when we have our house in order, or when things are organized.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we buy a company, if we're organized from our major business processes and major platforms perspectives, it's very easy for them to say, or very easy for us to have a conversation with the acquired company, that we understand your target platform. We understand exactly where you're going to go. Right now, we're not quite at that spot. After we complete these big projects, especially CRM, CPQ, and ERP, it will become very evident that there is only one target platform, right? And when there's only one target platform, we can build the right projects and programs to quickly integrate these companies. And when we quickly integrate the companies, it's good for business, right? It's good for everybody.
Right, absolutely. And that's I'm wondering now, as a follow-up to that, if you have so many applications and platforms, how do you decide which ones you're keeping to make your standard?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it's usually business capability driven. And this is an area that the enterprise architects are driving more and more towards, right? So we have our technical expertise, our platform expertise, and we're beginning to expand our business process knowledge and expertise. And it's really understanding for a particular application, which business functions does it really satisfy? And can the enterprise application, say that's a bolt-on and it's custom and it's expensive and it's probably not being maintained well, or a better way of saying that is its health is declining, right? Because it's a custom application. We would look at the business processes it supports and see, does the enterprise application that we have, is that able to satisfy that particular business and that particular business process? And if it is, then we have to start making those steps toward migrating the business processes and the technical aspects from the old application or the application we want to decom to the enterprise application.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That definitely helps me get a better grasp of what you're all doing, going from so much to, streamlining everything.
And I mean, I'll just say some of the journeys we're on, especially in the ERP area and then the customer support area and the professional services area, they are hard to dissect. So it sounds easy, but then, there's some parts we can move, there's some parts we can't move. And then we get into the discussions, okay, should we have that as our target state architecture where we're going to move some parts of the functionality and really slim down a custom application so it becomes easier to digest later. So a lot of this is like a multi-year journey. In the next year to 18 months, we might be able to really slim down our custom application footprint, which is expensive, and move a lot of the workloads and business processes to enterprise. But we still have to carry it for some specific reason, Darcy, right? There's probably something custom in there that we all agree we need to keep. But at least we'll be able to look at that in an 18 months to 2 years time and say, okay, now are we in a different situation? Is the business in a different situation where we can now move it all? So long story short, it is a journey. Multi-step journey.
A lot of things, it seems like, that are going on at NetApp, and specifically NetApp IT, are an evolving journey. Like our Cloud One video series right now, we're kind of talking about that element of how we do NetApp IT hybrid cloud work, and that it is always an ongoing process. So
yeah.
And so kind of going back a little bit to, the we are not special element, thinking about how can we do more out of the box. What would you say a customer could take away from what we're doing if they want to apply something similar at their enterprise?
A customer, especially an established customer who has a lot of legacy technical debt, could learn how we're driving the business strategy and the architecture strategy, and trying to disseminate that across all of the different projects and programs. So it's kind of, I think, how we structure the architecture mission, and then how that disseminates into each part of the business is key. And we're on this journey where we're learning, and I think we're right in the middle of all of these major projects and programs, we're learning that we've got to connect the dots across them continuously. And so those are some of the learnings that other customers and partners would be able to learn by talking to us about our journey.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe we can have you back on the channel once the process is at least somewhat more complete, even if it's still evolving, instead of in the midst of it, right? This is the beginning, middle portion, and then we'll welcome you back and see what the results are like at that point.
Sounds great, Darcy. It's been wonderful talking to you.
Likewise, if you all have questions, you can reach out to us at netappit@net.com. We'd be happy to have an expert speak with you about how you can apply this to your company specifically. But otherwise, take a look at some of our other videos and subscribe if you're not already. Thank you so much, Amit, for being on the channel, and we will see you all next time.
Likewise. Thank you, Darcy.